Alright, everyone, welcome back. It's time for FF16. Hopefully, the end of it all.
Of course they will.
Because I don't know about you guys, but I want this to end. Not that I think it's a bad game, but like, I'm ready. I'm ready for this to be over. Ooh. F.
You're rubbing me blind, you know. Come again.
Alright.
I'm not much bothered either way.
Turn my volume up a little bit. Well, you know, the journey's been fun, one way or another. We've had a lot of ups and we've had some downs. But all good things must come to an end, and hopefully we can finish this up tonight. Which we should be able to, because like phase changes saves your progress, which is really generous, I suppose.
Make sure you do this time. Oh, and while you're at it.
Oh.
Clive, if you see me dad up there, tell him we were right to leave his legacy with you.
Tell him he'll be in the front row. There's no way he'd miss this. Well, behave yourself, Mitt.
We'll see.
He's not used to that.
So, you're in charge now, Gav.
And what does Taya have to say about that? Come back before she finds out, eh?
Clive must survive.
Thank you, Yote. I'm sorry.
Your Grace, I shall pray for your safe return.
That's kind of you. But you should pray he took his medicine. I didn't spend all night grinding herbs for his lordship to leave them on his nightstand. Again.
You needn't fear, Lady Taya. And thank you.
See that your brother comes back in one piece. Or, at most, two. Any more and you can heal him yourself.
I'll keep that in mind.
Where are you looking, Clive?
Well, there's nothing to say that hasn't already been said. But that's never stopped me before, so just you do what needs doing. And don't worry about us.
We'll do our best, Uncle.
That we will.
If that is all?
Where's Jill?
Not quite. Jill.
It's time, isn't it?
It is. Take care of him. And you. You take care of her too, boy.
Oh, Torgal. At least they didn't kill you off. Fingers are crossed right now.
Don't forget, Clive. We all choose our own path. Believe in yours. I do.
I'll be back. I promise. I love you, Jill.
I know. I love you too.
Please give a fucking happy-ish ending to them.
Now, we have a god to kill.
Man, dude, I fucking love their relationship. It can't end in flames, or else it's just not... It's not gonna be satisfying. Fucking right. Bomb it.
Here they come. Hold on, Joshua. Already am.
Dude, Bahamut was like, if anything, like the craziest icon. Just because it took both him and Joshua to take him on. That was fucking insane. I mean, like Odin, it was more about Barnabas than actually Dion. More about Barnabas than it was Odin, which was fucking crazy.
He's going to make us away.
Wait, Dion and Odin are anagrams. That would have been funny if they reversed that. I didn't want to say anything while the cutscene was playing, but they played the main Final Fantasy theme again, but it was a different rendition. While Jill and them were saying something. Oh my gosh. Tearing me apart, Lisa.
So, this is Origin.
A far cry from heaven.
Where it all began. Where it all begins. Our ark. Your architect.
If Clive survives, I think Joshua sacrifices himself.
There you are.
It was here that we slumbered. Here that we waited for centuries, clinging to our decrepit shell, for fear that we might have need of it once again. But you have come at last. And now we shall be truly complete.
Well,
There's 3 of us, and 1 of him. Let's make it count.
Let's fucking go. Impulse. Turn that line down.
Dominance. We will show you what it means to suffer.
Oh right, the Dark Effort. Fighting the Dark Aeons. Let's go. Ultima Prime. For Phoenix and Bahamut. That's our health bar. That means we're gonna get to play a little bit of all 3. Why am I taking damage? Yeah, dude, like the set pieces in this game are fucking amazing. Some of the best we've ever seen out of Final Fantasy. Like this shit, a lot of this shit ends up being like on par with Aquarius, Apocalypsis Aquarius. It's like, you know, you guys know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. I love losing health in a cutscene that I can't control. Am I supposed to be pressing shit, or is this just like all cinematic for a reason? Nice. He was such a cool character, man. Like, I wish there was more of him. He would have been so cool as like a fucking party member, like a real party member for like a good part of the game. I know there are people out there too that want, you know, like LGBTQ, you know, whatever representation, and I think Dion's such a good example of that. Like, is not defined by his sexuality, but it's still present, right? Like you know what he's about, but it doesn't define him. It's not his entire personality. He's just a fucking awesome character. That's so cool. Well, we beat the game. That was easy. Obviously not.
And you only surrendered. This unpleasantness could have been avoided.
That one winged angel. Oh my god. Oh, I was about to say. Oh no, it is one wing. Fucking. I wasn't joking when I said one winged angel needs to start playing. Bro, it even looks like Sephiroth's fucking.
We have you.
I do find it interesting that Ultima is a being and not a magic in this particular one. Here goes Dion. I knew he was gonna die, but
Go! Save your brother!
say goodbye. Yo. No. Nice.
Now, Father, it is done.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with him dying because it makes sense for his character, but you know, to go out in a heroic glory, blaze of glory. Jesus. Clive just, he has to survive, man. I'm gonna be so fucking pissed.
Clive! Clive! No. Thank the Founder.
I actually think it would have been cool if, like, Dion had, like, drank the Aether the way that Kupka and Benedicta did, just to go, like, crazy on Ultima.
Did I mention you look terrible?
And that like weakened him enough for Clive to beat him or something.
Oh, I'll be alright. And Dion. Take my hand. No, I told you, I'll be...
Louis' chest.
Come on. Thank you.
There's still that piece of Ultima inside him.
Press on.
He's gonna have to sacrifice himself, I think. Just like Joshua can't sacrifice himself just for Clive to die too. I hate when they do that shit in games.
I'm sorry about Dion. Don't be. Please. He did what he had to do. And it's time we did the same. Should we stop? Because of the cough. No, I think we're past that, Clive. I suppose we are.
Like a giant squid. Ethereal squid.
That light, so cold. So empty. We're close, aren't we? It seems that way. But I don't want to think what could be waiting for us in there. Then think instead of those waiting for us at home.
I'm also okay with Joshua dying. It sucks, but as long as Clive survives, I'm good, man.
Clive. They can't be.
But they are. This is the Nexus. A wellspring of life. Yours and ours. As we watch the world stumble slowly to its dark end, it was here we pledged a new beginning. And now, with the ether we have harvested, I shall raise my kin from their eternal slumber. That together we may usher in a new age of reason.
This was never about creation. Only self-preservation. You condemned an entire world so that you alone might escape death. Alone. Him. Alone. Clive. I think I understand.
He what? Say it. Say it. Is it all just him?
Oh no.
They sacrificed their flesh to become beating hearts of crystal that pumped the land's lifeblood from the depths of the earth unto this very chamber. And thus would they labor still, long after their work was done, had you not set them free.
Mother crystals.
You meant for us to destroy the mother crystals. It's what you wanted all along.
You have our gratitude, Mythos. In this you have served us well. You have both served us well.
So they were all like gods.
Welcome home, brother.
Joshua. I thought it was me, but it wasn't my grasp that grew weaker. It was theirs that grew stronger.
Well, that's an image.
Joshua! No!
He's probably not dead. Relax.
And now we can become one.
Wait, so the Ultima that showed up at each Mother Crystal was a different Ultima. Okay, that makes sense. So every time they attacked the Mother Crystal, they freed another piece of Ultima.
Clive.
It's actually kind of interesting, not gonna lie.
The destructive flames of Ifrit and the healing flames of the Phoenix. This, I once believed, would be Ultima's true form. But I was wrong. I see it now. Why you will never become Ultima's vessel.
I don't care. Just hold on.
Listen to me, Clive. You remember the murals? People once knew that Ultima was their god. That he created them. And they worshipped him, prayed to him, looked to him for guidance. In vain, for he did not listen, did not acknowledge our will, and so we strayed from his path to forge one of our own. So absorbed was he in his own desires, so driven by his own will alone, that he shunned the one thing that could have made him truly powerful. Faith. The same faith people now place in you. Faith that you will fulfill their dream, Sid's dream of creating a better world for us. Faith that you will follow in Father's footsteps and save those who need saving most. Faith that you will answer Jill's plea to save yourself.
Yes, please.
The difference is, Clive, that you chose to listen, and that is what has steeled our bonds. Bonds that helped you stand firm when Ultima's pull was at its strongest. His power may be absolute, but so is ours. And so will yours be. With my light in your heart, not even a god might stop us.
Yep.
Joshua! Don't do it, you're...
Enough, Clive. My body is too far gone. If the wound does not take me, the curse will.
That's really sad.
I have always been proud to call you my shield. But now, it is the world that needs you. Thank you, Clive, for being my brother.
Man. Yeah, I mean, I saw that coming.
Look at me, Joshua. Open your eyes! Open your eyes, Damien!
I can't, I'm sorry.
Why did you do this? Joshua.
Some people's cries just, they're just, I don't know. It was like Andrew Lincoln in Walking Dead did this to me too. Every time he cried, I just laughed. I'm sorry. I know I'm not supposed to. Like, it was really sad up until that point.
And thus does the final piece fall into place.
Now that looks like a Final
The
Fantasy villain.
incantation primed, but one task remains: to empty the vessel.
Now he looks fucking cool. Finally. They could have done Ultima so much better. You just look ugly before. But like now he's a fucking Final Fantasy villain in the last part of the game.
You're still here. With me to the end.
Even now, you would deny the inevitable.
Here we go. Final battle, baby.
That's what you always have. And
I don't know how many
always
phases,
will.
but
On this, my sword, I swear, to shield the Firebird's flame forevermore.
yo. I was about to say, is the sword gonna stay on fire? Oh baby. Never mind.
Nice try. Nice try.
Blair. Oh fuck. I'm
Nice try.
oops. That worked out. Okay, we got level 3, I'm like just trying to play this a little slow right now.
is the work of my will.
Holy. I don't think I can do Titan for any of this. Oh yeah, maybe this.
Perhaps this will bring pity.
I'm sorry if anybody comes in the chat and I don't respond right away. It's because I am concentrating. Holy shit. Should be enough, right? Or just about. Oh. Interesting.
Countless centuries have I waited for this moment. This moment in which I might revel in my creation. Only to find it profaned and so...
Like, he actually looks like a fucking Final Fantasy villain now. Like, why couldn't he have, like, a similar-ish design? Would have been so much cooler looking. I want to see him use, like, the other powers in a cutscene. Like Bahamut or Garuda or whatever.
Unexpected. How is it that your will yet endures?
Because it's not so easily broken.
But it can be broken. And I shall see it so. For such is my will.
Try it.
Yeah, no way that's the fucking final fight. At least no way it's his final health bar, at least.
Nice try.
Oops. Damn. I don't even need the stagger him. I just need to build up Zantetsuken. He's done. As we said, that health bar is done.
Why? What latent force feeds these flames? I sense more here than mere will. Is this Logos? Have you truly become free?
We advance a bit further each turn. That's how a drill works.
You are but flesh and bone. You are not one of us. I created you, all of you. And what is mine is mine to destroy.
Oh.
Once, perhaps. But we are no longer yours. Our flames are our own, and they burn as one!
this it? Is this the final fight? Final phase, maybe?
Have you learned nothing? Damned is the slave who would turn the scourge upon his master.
That's a good man. Oh shit. They actually stagger goes down pretty quick. Nice. If for a reason. Is that what it was before? I think that's what it was called. When we fought Bahamut. He's almost fucking... Yeah, just stick him for a sec. I guess I can use my one attack, the square attack there, as a defense. That's a quick stagger. It's probably bad. Yeah, I'm not going to use the beam until later. Yeah, I wonder how many phases there will be of this. This could be the last one, there might be more, who knows. This is like weird. It's cool looking, but...
Recreant.
Don't be upset. It's enough because you're losing. Can't move. There's no shot, like. Especially when he attacks. Oh, okay. Never mind. There's plenty of time. Damn. Maybe not plenty of time, I don't know. Let's see. In there. Dude, the attacking, like, come on. Can't. When you keep attacking. Yes.
My consumed mind.
Didn't work. It's a lot of contrast. Cannot see shit. Barely. That was stressful. That press the attack freeze. 3 fireworks left. Let's go ahead and use one. Move out of the way in time. Should be basically over. Stagger his ass, and then it's over. that it? Or is there more?
No. My will is inviolable. Something is wrong.
You're afraid. You always have been. From the moment the Blight exposed what you were, weak, you conceived us to prove otherwise. But the results shook you to the core. For in us you saw yourself, and realized we had the potential to be more than you could ever be. And so you turned your back on your creation. Your back on the world, like the coward you are.
You think you know me? You know nothing, Logos. Nothing.
Okay, so it's not over. I had a feeling it wasn't. This should be the last phase, though, honestly. If it's not, then I'm gonna be kind of mad, but I don't know. Don't bring us back to the ugly ass motherfucker. Huh.
Bathed in light, I stand above you, my rebirth complete. And you, for your defiance, shall pay the proper price. An eternity of anguish.
I guess this is the final fight then.
Anguish. Pain. Suffering. You have known none of these. But we have. So we know what they grant. They bring us together. And that makes us strong.
That's right. I had a feeling like the final fight was probably gonna have to be like with our own skills. Yeah, it's not a great idea. I've got it back again. Really, he just blocked me from gouge. Okay. Ultimalius. Check that out. Oh. Oh, I didn't even realize that. That's he's using the same shit that we are, basically. He can use all the powers. That's good, I got a lot before the phase transition. Finally, he actually uses the shit in actual combat. Or in like actual stuff. Cutscene, whatever. The Odin. I don't know what it said. That's cool. Extra clearance behind it. I have no high potions left. It's not good. And that was Odin. Shit. Is that ice? It just seems like more behind that. Almost have full limit break. I'm just gonna keep my fucking distance here. I've gouged back. That's not gonna work. That's fucking annoying. It's okay if I die, it's just I have to make it through phase transitions, assuming that it's the same as it's been. That was faster. Boreal Valley. possible. Okay, that should be a phase transition. We should be safe. Up to this point. That's...
That's my boy!
Hey. Okay, there was Shiva. One second. There was some Shiva. This is so fucking cool. And then Odin.
Darkness, unending.
Odin.
Onward, my son.
Yeah.
No, mine is the altar at which you pray. Mine are the eyes that look down upon you.
Limit break.
And yet still you cannot see. You are no better than us. We are one and the same.
We are not the same. No man might stand beside me. Witness my creation.
Ashes to ashes. Imperiosis. Imperiosis. Yes. I mean, I have no fucking feeling so. I'm completely out of healing now. What's happening? I mean, I do technically have one heal left. And it is my that auto heal. I think it still technically will work, even though it's not on my bar, right?
I can't go on.
What happened to my thing? That's not cool. Okay, so I don't get my elixir, but that's fine. Okay, I started with zombies. He's so hard to hit with Garuda's gouge. Like I probably would have probably been better off with Diamond Dust here maybe. I probably should just use the Titan there. Got it. Gotta land at least one of those in this fight, huh? Is this, yeah, let's say his gouge back. Okay, so he's immune to stagger at this particular juncture. Okay. That's bullshit. I pressed it. That's really annoying. This is still fucking difficult, even preserving your base changes. Okay, phase transition, great.
With me, Phoenix. Forevermore.
Amazing. Wow.
So sure of your place atop the world, you refuse to acknowledge those below. You chose to remain alone. And so you shunned the one thing that could have made you stronger. Pushed away the hands that could have raised you higher. I do not need you, or anyone. And that is where we are different. I could not have made it here on my own. I carry with me the hopes and dreams of my brothers, my sisters. And it is they who will give me the strength to end your reign. I cannot end. I am the end. Nice try.
Is this like the victory lap? I want to try end him with Santetsuken if I can. Here we go. Yes. It's our final fantasy.
The only fantasy here is yours. And we shall be its final witness.
That was fucking awesome. That was like a victory lap at the end.
It's over.
That's amazing. That was amazing. Ew. Get that shit out of here. hopefully that's it, and then we can kind of take our time reviewing.
Tell me, what do you imagine will befall this world now that you have gained your precious freedom?
I honestly don't know. But I doubt it will be pretty. A sorry tale of sin and suffering, hardship and pain.
And it was for this that you fought so fiercely? Why?
It's who we are. We fight. We survive. We endure. We don't need a reason. We are imperfect creatures. When we stumble, we reach for a shoulder to lean on. When we fall, we stand back up. We see the horizon, ever out of reach, and still we march on. Certain the answers lie just beyond it, because that is our way.
My congratulations. Relish this victory, knowing that you have but delayed the inevitable. Your world is already dead. May you enjoy an eternity on its blackened husk.
Okay, now please don't sacrifice yourself to give life to the land, and please don't do something like that. You can give life to the land or whatever with that power, just don't die. You must survive. He lost his brother twice. Imagine that, like you thought he was dead for so long to find him again, and then he dies again. Joshua is a fucking great character, man. So was Clive. So was Jill, and so was Dion. I mean, yeah, I want to hold all this for the end, but we're gonna have to talk about it. Yeah. Wow, they're really going back. That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, that is the most appropriate reaction. Doesn't matter what you just accomplished. I mean, that's gonna be on your brain. Especially seeing him there. Is that gonna work? It's okay if it doesn't, but...
It seems Ultima's power was too great for this vessel all along. But while I have it, perhaps I can use it to set things right. And see Ultima's legacy. Bearers, dominance, crystals, magic, consigned to the flames.
Just don't sacrifice yourself.
Even if it means
the No. It's okay if you lose your powers. Just, you can't die. It'll be way too cliche. Don't do it.
These are our terms.
This is like the whole point of this character is to save himself. Like the whole point of this, his growth with Jill and all that, to save himself. Don't die. And show it. So just maybe. Is that him? Ben Starr. He's alive. Susanna Fielding. Great performance for Jill. He's alive. Jonathan Case, great performance. No. Don't do it.
Can you see it there?
Is he turning? Is he dying? Is she dying? Benedicta.
Aren't you the most beautiful thing? He is, isn't he? What are you gonna call him?
Let me see, let me see. Oh, read little one. Got a smile for your Uncle Gav.
Not so loud, you burp.
What? I was only...
Shh! You're scaring him. It's all right.
Oh.
Huh. She's gone. He's gone. You're a fucking asshole. Nomura, or whoever determined that.
Best I can take him. I'll hold you to that.
The world's yours now. Yours to do with as you please. That's what Sid wanted. That's what they both wanted.
Byron. This didn't kill the fucking dog. Come on, you gotta show him walking. Harry Lloyd, he did okay. The voice was fine. I just, you know how I feel about Ultima. Can you show him walk into the hideout, please? Even if it's like with a fucked up hand or whatever. Can it please be just a red herring?
And thus did our journey end.
Like a baby from that one night.
Oh. Every time.
Will you light it?
Yes, Mother.
Is he gonna use like a dominant ability?
Come on. If only I had the
Okay,
flamestone
let's see.
icon.
Icon? Have you been reading that silly story again? Magic belongs in fairy tales, and fairy tales don't boil kettles. You see? Well done. Now, be a good lad and play with your brother until supper.
Come on. Hurry. Hurry. Right.
Right, let's play the saint in the sectary.
No, I don't want to be Madu.
What do you want to play then?
War of the Icons.
Again? Well, alright.
And I get to be a freak.
Right,
That's
I'm
cool.
the older brother.
Because Bahamut says so.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I mean it's pretty clear. He's fucking. God damn it. Why couldn't you just? Alright. Let me guess. So New Game Plus is now available from the title screen. Final Fantasy mode. Jeebus. So there's no chapter select. Okay. Alright. Let me look this up real quick. I'm like 99% sure. Let's see. Yeah, so that's what I thought the implication was, that Joshua was so Jill had a baby, I guess, from that beach scene, and then named it Joshua. Even if Clive's death brings a somber tone to Final Fantasy XVI, it is a beautiful and poetic ending. Fuck off. I strongly disagree. I could not disagree more. Okay. Review time. Let's get a spot, right? So I can put my controller down.
Of course they will.
Where's Jill? Beautiful and poetic. I'll get there. I'll get there. Why the fuck did they have to do that? I'm so fucking mad. There. That's the shot. That's the shot right there. Okay. So let me put this down. Let me put my controller down, so I can talk to you guys. Alright. Okay. So here's my review portion of this playthrough. So where do we begin? Because my head is still a little jumbled from the ending, but so Final Fantasy 16. Where did we start? So I came into this knowing very little. I knew only that there was a possible, I guess, romance between Jill and Clive. I didn't know if it was like a forced thing or if it was like something you could branch out into. I wasn't sure, but I did know about that, and I'd seen the initial trailer, so I knew like there was a portion of the game where he was younger, and then the portion of the game where he looks like this. So my biases as far as the game, they're very little. I mean, it looked like a decent game. I didn't have much influence. I never read any reviews on the game. I've never like seen if people like it or dislike it. The only thing I did hear is that it had some mixed reviews, because some people were saying like, why did Final Fantasy VII Remake do well or whatever and 16 didn't. I don't know if that's even true. That was like a title. I didn't even actually watch the fucking video. I just saw a title of it. As far as Final Fantasy goes, I've been a fan for a very long time. So let's get that straight. So if I'm introducing any biases into the review, it's from that lens. Now, let's talk about. Jeez, what the fuck do we talk about first? We're gonna talk about the gameplay first, because I think that's gonna be a little bit more concise than the story and the characters. Where typically it's the other way around, but it's a Final Fantasy, so the story is always going to be a while to talk about. The gameplay. So if you played some like action games before, like if you watch my playthrough, you'll know I liken it to something like Devil May Cry. It has a lot of aspects from DMC, and some Final Fantasy stuff as well, and some other influences, you could say. But I would say, like, to me, what the main influence of this gameplay style would be something like Devil May Cry, with some of the attacks being very similar, as well as, like the style changes mid combat, as well as like Limit Break being very, very similar to Devil Trigger. Now it's also similar-ish to Armiger from 15, but that's its own story. But really, I would say Limit Break in this game is closer to Devil Trigger than it is Armiger from 15. That's my opinion. So, as when it comes to the basic gameplay, I think they do a lot of elements very well. Like, there's some cool stuff, like with, like the perfect dodge, and then, like having the like special attacks, and then the style changes, having like the way that they mesh stagger and damage. I think they did a really, really good job with that. Like, it's a very fun game to play. It's like pick up and play, as far as like, like pick up a game and go fight bosses. And I will say, like, the difficulty was actually really good. Now, I do think it got a little bit of a difficulty spike where I feel like it may have been, but I will say I don't count it against the game, because from my own perspective, I barely did any side quests on the second half of the game. I did them all in the beginning, and then I just kind of ignored them for a while, and then I just wanted to get through the game, and so I ignored all the side quests. So I was probably heavily underleveled, and so the difficulty spike probably would have been a lot less impactful had I just played, done a bunch of side quests. However, I wanted to get through this game, which I'm going to talk about that in a minute. Like, the quests themselves, I would say a lot of the, like, quests and side quests were pretty bad. Like, I know some people complain about some of the side quests in 7 Remake. I think this is definitely worse. It started off fine because they were done like that. You know, you were instantly done with a quest. Side quest, it was like a very menial task. And then they kind of lengthened them, and then they ended up throwing side quests into the main quest, like the hour-long hunt for Mid's ship stuff, which ended up being like a whole lot of nothing, and then one really good scene with Clive and Jill, and a couple fights. So, one thing I think the game suffers from is there are plenty of side quests, and I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I just don't think the side quests are interesting enough to like engage the player. That's my opinion. Now there are like side quest junkies I'm sure would go through this without a problem. Even if I'm going for the platinum, which I may eventually, I'll probably do them all anyway, but I can't say I'll enjoy them that much because it'll probably be pretty fucking stale and boring. Just make sure I like move every so often so the game knows I'm still playing. In terms of like, yeah, enemy design, boss design, I think for the most part they were all really, really well done. I will say I did not enjoy the Barnabas fight, unfortunately. Like, none of them. Which is a shame because Odin's power is fucking awesome. Ended up being like my favorite of all of the icons in terms of like using them. Like, you saw how much I enjoyed just going crazy with like Heaven's Cloud and Zantetsuken at the end. I think the ability points, all that stuff is great. They did a really, really great job with making a fun and like very varied gameplay with the abilities and the icons and shit. Yeah, like I said, the enemy and boss design pretty good. Not a huge amount of complaints. There were some like bosses, even that like they reused some bosses that were kind of annoying to fight. Yeah. I will say, going back to the difficulty of some of these bosses, that I think having the phase transition being like a checkpoint is a brilliant idea. Like, I was bitching at first, but like I had to like switch my mindset over from beating everything in one go and conserving my like potions to making the phase transition. Which I think, I mean, it felt a little cheap. I'm not gonna lie, like that I should be fighting for phase transition rather than victory, but that's just how it ended up being for like the later bosses because of the difficulty spike, because I ended up being underleveled. But I think that was a good, like a decent way of ensuring that even if you're underleveled, you could still beat the game in a reasonable manner. I think that was like not a bad decision. It was a good stopgap because it recovered your health and recovered your potions, not necessarily your elixirs, but that's okay. So I was pretty happy with that. I thought that was cool. Yeah, I mean, some of the things that were kind of like annoying, like the bravery and protect, even though it made sense for them to have it, like I think, and sometimes it like kind of messed up the flow of the fight once in a while. But it didn't happen too often, so I'm not gonna dock any points for it. I just thought it was annoying. The fact that you couldn't like play as anybody else other than you get a couple battles of Joshua, fine. I'm not like I'm not hugely like for or against them, mostly indifferent. That's fine. I think that's kind of it on the gameplay. Because we're gonna kind of re-hit some of these points with some of the other aspects. I'll go with some of the like quicker things like the sound design and music. I think it was all good. Like they had some really good like musical like hits in all the set piece fights, and battle and boss theme were fine. I don't think it was a spectacular soundtrack by any means, like compared to some of the others in Final Fantasy, but yeah, it was good. Sound is pretty cool. There's a lot of cool sounds and no problems there. Now, let's talk about the story and the characters. Just like kind of moving there a little bit. So this is where things get a little crazy. Just take a sip here. So, the story overall, I said this in the past and I still believe this. I think they overbloated the story with way too many plot lines, and the world building I think was again overbloated. They did way too much, tried way too hard to do all that, and then you know, just didn't set it up right. So let's look at I'm not going to spoil another Final Fantasy, but what I am going to say is, if you compare the way the world building and the story is to 10, and the reason I'm using 10 is because I think 16 and 10 use very similar types of stories in some ways, but they're done in very, very different ways. So, 16, you're all over the map, you're going back and forth and this and that and there and the other and all this stuff. You have no fucking idea where you're going. Like, you're barely getting like any idea of where, you know, how things connect. There's no world map, so like there's no like world map that you traverse on. Like, there's just areas, and then you go back to the map, like Fire Emblem Awakening or like Fire Emblem 8 Sacred Stone, something like that. Rather than like having like a connected map, where in Final Fantasy X, even though there's it's the same thing, there's no technically world map that you traverse. Everything connects. So if you're in the Thunder Plains, you know that if you go back, you're gonna go to Guadosalam. If you go forward, you know that you're gonna hit like Macalania Forest. And that's like it's ingrained in your brain because you traverse it, right? Like I couldn't tell you like Waloed and Sambrek and all that shit. Like, I could look over and like kind of remember Sambrek is down here somewhere and fucking Waloed is here, and then the fucking Drake's Fang is here and Fuck Off is over here, and it's like, but like, that's because you look at the map like a billion times and then you finally figure it out by the end. It's like, instead of like this general progression where everything connects, and it makes it scattered, and it makes the world building very uneven and very bad, in my opinion. And like, having Vivian there to try to explain it, like, I'm just fucking nodding off, because there's so much information that's being dumped at you at once, and none of it makes sense until later, until you get more context. Like, they did that whole big lore dump in the beginning, and you can't make any fucking sense of it. Same thing they did in Final Fantasy 13, by the way, which I hated that about that game. Which, I'm not saying 13's a bad game, but like something that it did poorly is the fucking jargon dump and lore dump at the beginning that you can't make any fucking sense of. Same thing with this game, although it was to a lesser degree. And then you start to like get the feel of it, and then they just throw everything out the fucking window. It's like, oh god. And you have all these fucking factions fighting for power, and then you have the Mother Crystals, and then you have Ultima, and then you have the Icons, and all this and that, and it's like, oh my god, just pick one or two plot points, please. So, like, that's my bigger issue with the story and world building. There's way too many things that they try to do, and it completely made the game scattered. In my opinion, they probably should have just focused on the icons. Is the best thing about the story. Is like the idea of the icons in this game, and like the summons, the way they use the summons is incredible. Arguably the best thing they've ever done with summons in this game. Just like, it's so good. And they really should have focused more on like the balance of power with the icons and stuff like that. And I said like Barnabas could have been like the main villain, and he could have. Even if you really wanted Ultima to be the main villain, like, just they could have just had the Mother Crystals be a source of power rather than the Blight. Because the Blight just, who the fuck cares about the Blight? It's not any, it's another rehash of another Final Fantasy, and I've said it in the gameplay. I mean, I'll say it, it's 7. Basically, it's a rehash of 7. The whole Blight. That's exactly what that shit is. And if you played 7, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I mean, it's literally in the very beginning of the game. And so, like, I would have rather had it that it was more about a source of power for the icons and like, you know, the magic users and the balance of power, and maybe like Sid wanted to get rid of them all, and so that way, like, nobody had access to that major source of power, and that way, you know, it wasn't as like crazy, you know, the wars aren't off the charts going crazy, and 5 is kind of the one to end it all. But you find out that destroying these Mother Crystals is freeing Ultima, so, you know, little by little. At the very end, I thought that was actually an interesting twist. At the end, despite not liking Ultima, which I'll come back to. When he kind of just dropped that knowledge bomb that destroying those Mother Crystals were freeing parts of Ultima. I thought that was actually an interesting drop, and I think that would have worked in this situation. Like, Ultima basically just being free from destroying the Mother Crystals, and then you fight Ultima. In which case, like, say, Ultima didn't have to be everywhere. It could have been, like, say, Barnabas trying to free Ultima through, like, you know, say, like, visions that Ultima was giving him, because he got, say, like, too close to the Mother Crystal, or he he drank of its ether or something crazy that allowed him to like connect on a mental level with Ultima, and then it's like, you know, free the Mother Crystals or something. I can grant ultimate power to you, or something better than what they did. The god shit, I can't deal. But they don't do it right, and he's fucking annoying for the whole game. It's just like, ugh, stop. But yeah, I mean, there's that. But like, the story as it relates to like Clive, is fucking great. Like, his story is awesome. The story of that he goes through, like, with his brother and his dad, and, like, yeah, like, all this stuff, and him being a freak and all that stuff. They did it really well. And it could have been used for something so much better. Which brings me to the characters, I think. Because I'm going to kind of tie the two aspects together. Characters. Really great characters, and then very unmemorable characters. Clive. Awesome. Loved him. Great. Jill. Awesome. Great. Loved her. The relationship. Fucking loved it. Thank you. Great. Joshua. Great character. Loved him. Dion. Great character. Loved him. You know, Byron. Good character. Fucking Mid. Fine. She's fine. Gav. Okay. Sid. Okay. You know, whatever. Like, I forgot. I forgot Sid. Like, partway through the game, it's like, the second half, it's just like, whatever, Sid's gone, whatever, fuck it. Mid's better. Gav, whatever, Goose, who gives a fuck? Karen, nobody gives a shit. Like, the blacksmith, fuck him. You know, the old dude in the library told him, don't give a fuck. Vivian, don't care. Like, so many of these characters, like, are either fantastic or they just, I don't give a fuck about them. And so, one thing I think the character thing lacks is that camaraderie. What do I mean by that? Yes, there's camaraderie in the game, but if you compare it to other Final Fantasies, like, I'm gonna say it again, Final Fantasy X or Final Fantasy 15, take your pick, where you have, like, a cast of characters that is traveling together constantly, and they're always back and forth, and they're always growing and gaining, you know, knowledge and experience from each other. Jill's missing for a lot of this game, and so is Sid, so is Dion, so is Joshua. So, like, the best characters are rarely together. Also, shout outs to Torgal. They didn't kill the dog, alright? You know, that's a big ass plus. They're separate so much of the game, where if they were together, this cast and story would have been so much more likable. Like, when Clive, Dion, and Joshua were together, fucking awesome. Wanted way more. But instead they had to, like, force him to, like, go bonkers, and we had to beat Bahamut, I guess, to justify him getting Bahamut's power when he does. But I don't know, they could have done it maybe a different way, but the fight was fucking awesome. But yeah, now Ultima, we're talking about characters. We'll talk about the other villains before I get to Ultima. Benedicta, she was a hooah. Let's get that. Let's get that out of the way. Last time is the last time I'm gonna say it. She was funny. I liked her. She was a fine villain. I don't have nothing against her, but you know, Kuka, fine. Discount Thanos, whatever. Didn't have a major problem. You had Annabella, technically a villain. You know, a good villain, very unlikable, purposely so. And Barnabas was fucking awesome, except for the god shit. If it dropped the god shit, Barnabas would have been fucking awesome as a character. Still a cool villain. He had, like, cool armor, cool abilities and shit. You know. Ultima. Can't stand him. What they do with the god stuff, like, it's so annoying when they try and do this. It's like they just, oh my gosh, the whole, like, he created them and all that stuff. Like, why did that have to exist? Like, it just makes, it's so stupid. And he was just like everywhere, and like he spoke so cryptically, and he like you can't really understand his plan till like the very end. And I understand they wanted to drop that bomb about the mother crystals, which was cool, but they could have done so much better. Like, have him speak more plainly, have his plans be a little bit more, you know, clear, and it would have been like 1,000 times better. His design is fucking ugly, except for when he came back finally, like as a full person. Like, he started looking like a Final Fantasy villain finally. You know, when he was in that bigger version, I thought he looked actually pretty fucking cool, and then the armored version looked great, cool. But up until that, he just looked so fucking annoyingly ugly. It's just like he was everywhere always. Like, it's just like, oh, come on, man, like, please stop. And so I guess that kind of brings us to the ending of the game. When we talk about, you know, how the characters in the story kind of converge, is, you know, Jill and Clive's relationship hits their peak. Fantastic. Only for them to fucking destroy it in the end. Now again, I'm okay with Dion dying. I'm okay with Joshua dying. Clive needed to survive. And I'm sorry, it's fucking cliche to, oh, you know, that night that they had, she carries his child and named him Joshua. Fuck that. That is, it's cliche. I'm sorry. They've done it in other Final Fantasies, stuff similar. Not necessarily the exact same, but very similar. There was no need to kill him. Not one fucking need. Why did he have to sacrifice himself to destroy that crystal? It does not make a lick of sense. Like, he's still a human. Like, they could have cut that out. Like, I'm sorry, but the ending would have been 1,000 times stronger. More poetic. Because I can't believe, like, I read that saying that it's beautiful and poetic. It's not. It's neither of those things. It's neither of those things. There's nothing poetic about him sacrificing himself, when that's literally what he's been doing the entire game. And Jill has been trying to help his character grow, because remember that night on the beach, you need to be, you don't look at the one person you have to save, which is yourself. And so he goes against every piece of character growth he's given from Jill and sacrifices himself. Does not save himself. That is not character growth. That is a horrible, horrible ending. He should have saved himself. I don't get the choice. I get the choice on the fact that they love to just fucking kill their main characters sometimes in Final Fantasies and in games in general to make it beautiful and tragic. It's not beautiful and poetic. It's not. It's just stupid. Just let him survive, for fuck's sake. It would have been 1,000 times stronger if he destroys that crystal. We don't see another fucking thing of him. Jill's out there crying, hugging Torgal, the sun's coming up, and you just see Clive's foot, right? And he just, you know, like, Jill, I'm home. Cut. Done. We can leave everything else up to interpretation. And sure, he doesn't have his icon powers anymore. Great. Nobody cares. That's awesome. He got rid of it all. Now they can, you know, live free without, you know, that stuff. But no. I'm sorry, but Clive needed to survive. It's a stupid, 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 stupid ending. It gives no closure to Jill. Like, it gives nothing for Jill. Except Torgal, who's gonna fucking die anyway. Just spoiler alert, because he's a fucking dog. But she carries his child. Oh, come on. Come on, dude. Please. Don't hit me with that. It's so bad. Hey, look at him. He's looking at her. Look how they massacred my boy. Look how they massacred my boy. I don't know. It makes me very, like, very irritated and pissed off that they did it this way, like. And I knew it was coming, man. Like, I knew they were gonna fucking do it. I knew it. From the fucking start. From the start of this game, I knew he was gonna die. It's just like the way this game was going. I'm like, they're gonna fucking kill him in the end and I'm gonna hate it. And they did it. Do something different. Like, oh my gosh. I gotta take this off. I'm getting too fucking warm from getting heated, literally heated from this shit. I said it. I said if they kill Clive off, it's gonna make the story go. And it did. It makes the story go way down for me. Way the fuck down. They've been able to make it somewhat work in other Final Fantasies because the story called for it. The story did not call for it here. It's a random fucking plot line that they throw in the end that he has to die for it. It's fucking random. The story did not call for it. In fact, it called for the exact opposite. He was supposed to be able to save himself. Both Joshua and Jill tried to make sure he did. And he still fucking died. Oh my god, dude. Alright, I gotta stop ranting. What else is there to fucking talk about in this game? I think I pretty much hit it all. Like, graphics are amazing. The water, I think I mentioned it in the game, but the water, like, from a distance even, looks really, really good. You know, like, textures are all really great. It uses a very similar, I think the same engine as 7 Remake, so of course it was going to look great. I'm on PS5, I mean, yeah, it does really good. I would say, like, accessibility, there's some cool accessibility options that, like, you can like turn on like an easier mode by using, I think story mode is what it was called. I didn't use it, but where you can put on like extra things to like make it easier to dodge or whatever. Excuse me. As well as like cool accessibility options like changing your outfit and changing the sword appearance, which I think is pretty cool. Not technically accessibility, I guess it's more like, I don't know, quality of life, whatever. Yeah, I mean, there's not a whole lot else to talk about in this game. It's hard to like say where I rate this because the ending puts such a fucking sour taste in my mouth that it's so hard to like I'll sit here and talk about like some really great stuff about this game despite it. I feel like I'm a fairly objective person. The set pieces are incredible in this game. They are fucking amazing. The way they did some of these boss fights, like the set piece boss fights, the accept the truth moment, like you can see it. I'm like, let's play some fucking video games. Or like the Bahamut fight, like there was so many cool set pieces. Great, they did such a good job with that. on the Final Fantasy scale, it's not nearly the best. It's probably, I mean, it's not the worst. I would say, for me, like, all right, you have like up here at the top, you have 10 and 7 for me. You're 6. 6 is next. Then after that, I don't know, it's kind of hard because I think like up here, you know, kind of the upper echelon, I would say like 8 is pretty great. I like 8 a lot. I know it's not everybody's favorite. I really do like 8. Not as much as like 6. I don't know. And then like I would say like towards, you know, down here we have like, I mean, 12 and 13 that aren't, I don't say they're not bad. They're not bad games, but they're not like, they're not my favorite Final Fantasies. They're fun games. And then like way down here you have like, you know, 10-2 and shit like that. I would say like, and then, you know, like say in between 13 and 12, and then like that like 6 and then like 8, I would say like 15 is somewhere in between those two like tiers. I would probably put 16 on a similar tier to 15. I think the gameplay is more fun than 15. I think the set pieces in general are better than 15. But I think the story is better than 15, generally speaking. I think, you know, the Sense of the World map make, I don't know, it's so hard. Like I would say I put them on a similar tier. I don't know if I would like one over the other, but I would say they're probably around the same level. Certainly not like if we're talking about recent Final Fantasies, not 7 Remake. 7 Remake is like, makes this look like fucking McDonald's, in my opinion. Like in terms of like gameplay, better gameplay, way more fucking charm, better music, better basically everything. Except for some of the set pieces, excuse me, being better in this game, but it's not everything, right? Like if you just look at the set pieces, sure, this might be one of the best games of all time, but there's so much more than just those set pieces. You know, everything in between matters, and I think there are, it sucks because I was just singing the shit out of the praises, like I was singing praises like crazy about this game early on. The early game was fucking great. I loved it. And then, man, they just took a fucking nosedive more and more until this fucking ending. I just want to go and shake that guy and just be like, what were you fucking thinking? Anyway, yeah, I mean, is it a bad game? No. Is it a decent game? No. It's a good game. I would say it's somewhere between good and great. Actually, it's a pretty good game. Let's put it that. It's not like it's not a super special awesome game or anything like that. It certainly isn't like 7, 10, or 6 or 7 Remake, or, you know, like even 8. But it certainly ain't like 10-2. And I would say it's probably better than 12 and 13. You know, they're good games, but they're not like horrible. They're not also like incredible either. Yeah, I mean, I think that's gonna have to do it, man. Like, there's not much else I can really talk about. That's kind of my overall thoughts on the game. Yeah, I mean, you know what? Let's look at to end this off. Let's look at the trophy list. See what we can see. let's see what we got and let's see what we're missing. Okay. What's this? Defeat a boss without taking damage. God damn. Execute and land 2 heat wave counters in a single battle. And defeat 5 enemies in the air using Deadly Embrace. After using Deadly Embrace. Excuse me, damn it. Land Gouge, Wicked Wheel, and Rook's Gambit in midair before landing. Is that possible? I am the thunder. Lure an enemy into striking a lightning rod 3 times before it dissipates. Let's see. Land 100 total hits with level 2 or higher. Okay, so that's Bahamut stuff. So such dodge, so mega. That's cool. Inflict permafrost on 10 enemies, but sure. Oh. Land at level 2 or higher if it's on Tessican 5 times. I did that shit way so many times. 3 steel counters. Master all of a single. Okay. Upgrade all feats and abilities to their maximum. Damn, bro. Upgrade consumable potency and inventory slots to their maximum. Why would that be a hidden trophy? Like, there's nothing spoiler to it. I mean, I guess all icons... yeah, fair enough. Wait, what? Consumable potency and inventory slots? Are you saying I could have gotten more stockpile? Oh my god. 6 times board. Think mark. They're invincible, right? Hunter hunted. Chronolith. Yeah, there is those chronoliths. Obtain all curiosities. What is progress on it? Craft the legendary Yotermadung. Yoterdamerung. I have no idea how to fucking say that properly. Open 10. I could do that right now. Jesus. What the fuck? You can pet the dog. That's amazing. I didn't do that. Complete the game on Final Fantasy. Nah, fuck that. I'm not gonna get the platinum then, most likely. Let's go ahead and just read this shit. Let's get that trophy real quick, huh? Guess it's kind of an anticlimactic way of finishing. Oh, this guy was fucking annoying. There we go. Why not, right? Okay.
Clive?
Oh.
Do you have a moment?
Of course.
Did we already do this?
I wanted to give you something.
Is this?
I stitched it from the cloth you gave Hortense. The piece she said you liked best.
Oh shit.
I told her I used to enjoy needlework, but I didn't think she'd remember.
It's beautiful, Jill.
I remember that.
You didn't have to.
When I was very little, I recall my mother telling me that young ladies of the court would give knights ribbons from their hair before they went off to war. I still wear mine, so I made you this instead. Black is the color of eternity. It cannot be stained. It cannot be sullied. It is unchanging, unwavering, just like your resolve. And mine.
Our resolve. May it never diminish.
And may it ever bring you back to me. I will always, always be here.
Thank you, Jill.
What is it, Clive? You can always... Right.
Just twist the knife, why don't you? Alright, well, let's go ahead and end things now. I know it's a little bit on the early side, but what am I going to do? Start something else? Listen, if you love this game, and you love the story, if you love everything that I just ripped to shreds, it's okay. You're allowed to like things that I don't, and vice versa. But I made a promise to you at the very beginning that I'm going to be honest with you. Brutally honest, whether that's in a positive light or a negative light. And I intend to keep that promise. Well, and I just did, because I was extremely honest about every single thing that I talked about. But it's okay to have differing opinions. And it's okay to like things. I still like this game. I like it a lot. I'm just very disappointed in it. I really am. Like, it's like it legitimately makes me sad that they destroyed the potential that this game could have had. This game could have been like really up there. Like, it could have been like maybe like a step below 6 if they had done this right. But they didn't. So, fuck it. Yeah. I want to thank you all for watching. I know it's been a long journey. It has been for me too. Again, if you like my content, even if you're not a fan of what I say about games, if you respect the integrity of somebody who's willing to just put their opinion out on the line, whether it's popular or not, give me a like, a follow, a sub, all of the shit. Because I think journalism in general is dead. I think journalism has turned into populism. Whether it be in the, like real stuff like politics or whatever, or games. And I'm not about that. I'm about, if I'm going to review a game, I'm going to do it in the way that I feel, because I still feel that I have that integrity. So with that said, I want to thank everybody for watching, and I will see you very soon.